Clean water, most of us take it for granted, but not Janet Baker. She's seen firsthand how every drop is precious.
In 2004, Janet Baker was at a CBN Partner Conference when she got an idea of how to help women and children in impoverished countries. She called it the Widow's Mite Experience. Over the years, the organization has funded more than 70 wells and water projects around the world.
Please welcome to the 700 Club our dear friend Janet Baker. It's so good to have you here today.
It's so good to be here.
Talk a little bit about, you were an interior designer and very involved in all of that. How did you become involved in the issue of water needs?
Well, I got an invitation to come to CBN for a partners conference, and I thought, I do not have time for this. You know, and
yes, I do.
The Lord just would not let it go. So I said, please book this for me. I came. There were these sessions that, you know, were CBN International and Operation Blessing, and I saw things that I thought, oh my gosh, there's got to be a way to help.
Yeah.
And so I pledged a lot of money.
In faith?
In faith, you got it. But Gordon had said, if it was God's will, it was God's will.
Yes.
And I trusted him.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Well, you went home and God gave you a very creative idea. You had some beautiful boxes that were really very dear to your heart. Tell us about what happened.
Well, I had these boxes that we had bought on any trip that we ever took, and I just loved them. Would not let my grandchildren play with them. That's how important they were.
That's how much you loved
them. And on the way home from CBN, I felt the Lord speak to my heart and say, sell your boxes. And I thought, that cannot be the Lord. No. So anyway, I went home, and I knew, being a designer, who would buy them, sold them. And got home, opened the mailbox, and I was in the midst of retiring, and there was a check from canceling a disability insurance policy. And it made up the exact amount of the pledge.
So the insurance policy cancellation and the boxes that you had sold completed the gift that you'd given in faith.
In 1 week.
Wow. You know, God so wants us to understand that He's inviting us to participate with Him. Out of that experience came your concept for Widow's Mite. Tell us about that, because it's so unique.
Well, it was at a church in Charlotte, North Carolina, and 8 women started thinking about, well, you know, we've all got boxes of some type. It may not be boxes,
treasure,
it's a treasure. And so we decided that we would ask women to give sacrificially. Nothing that they didn't want. It had to be something that cost them. Yeah. Just like David. Yeah. You know, he would give the Lord nothing that didn't cost him. So we decided that that's what we would do. And the part of it that was so much fun was watching what the women brought in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, you know, a grandmother's butter dish, a blouse that a husband had given to his wife 2 days before he was killed in the line of duty. He was a policeman. Heart-warming gifts.
Yes.
Oh, we cried. Yeah. You know, but it was fabulous to see that women really wanted to do that. So then we took all these items and we had an auction.
It had to be equally fabulous to see God rise up and receive that and bless back, because you all have raised a lot of money over the years and you've changed a lot of lives. You've had over 1,000 water and well projects around the world. Did you ever think it would grow to that, Janet?
I didn't, but I know that we serve a mighty God, and there is absolutely nothing that's impossible with Him. And the women, the obedience of these women. And I have to tell you, my husband calls our little office, which is about 100 square feet, our world headquarters. And all of the women that work with Widow's Mite are volunteers.
Unbelievable. And now that started in Charlotte, as you said, but you have grown and expanded. Talk about what's happened with Widow's Mite.
Well, we have chapters now. We have chapters in Indiana. We have chapters in Virginia, in Colorado, North Carolina, Georgia. We've had events all over, and people who are doing event committees in places like West Monroe, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas, and you know, it's just amazing. We get calls all the time, and we're thrilled.
Well, I have been to some of your events, and they are not just impactful, they are fun.
We have a great time, we do.
You do have a wonderful time, and I think part of the joy is the process of doing it all is knowing that you're doing something that matters, something that's making a difference. I think everybody wants to be a part of something that's changing the lives of others, and it must be powerful for you to see God growing this in such a way.
Oh, Terry, it is. And the thing that I love is I was retired. I was sitting there, you know.
Was is the key word.
Yes. And I knew that God had something for me to do. And there are women like that all over the world that now are maybe empty nesters or that have time on their hands. And we would love for them to join us and help get water to women all over the world.
And we're talking about all over the world, but actually there have been needs here in the United States as well that you all have met. Tell us about that.
Well, Bill Horan is wonderful about calling. And
Janet.
yes, and so if there is a situation, the one that really comes to mind the most is Sandy when it hit, because, you know, with the government's requisitions and everything they have to do, that water wasn't getting to these people. And all you have to do with Operation Blessing is say, you get the water there, we'll get a check to you.
Exactly.
And it's there the next day.
Yeah. It's so wonderful to know you can make that kind of a difference. There are, I'm sure, people who are watching right now who are saying, I would like to be a part of something like that. They just get a hold of you and they can start a chapter if there's not one near them, right?
Absolutely. Or they can just have an event and, you know, form an event committee. And we have an event manual that we will send them that tells them how to do things. We're there to work with them. We'll come and help them. We want them to understand that it is an exciting life.
You know, I have seen it firsthand. I have seen the success of what you all have done firsthand, and just want to say to those of you who might be looking for a great way to invest your time and your effort, working with Widows Mite is a wonderful way to do it because they are making a difference, and CBN partners with them. Orphans Promise, Operation Blessing, we all work together to make these things possible around the world, and many hands make light work. So be a part of that. If you'd like more information on Widows Mite, what you do is log on to cbn.com and you'll find a link to that information there. We want to invite you to join the 700 Club. You know, that's how Janet came into all of this. She came to CBN, she saw what was going around the world and how the need was being met. And we would love for you to see that as well. Joining the 700 Club is simple. It's 65 cents a day, $20 a month, but it makes you a world changer, just like Janet's heart, if your heart is to make a difference. And we always do what we do, Widows Mite as well, with bringing the gospel right into the mix and letting people know about the love of Christ. So be a part of that. You join the 700 Club by calling that number on your screen, 1-800-759-07. Just call now, say I'd like to join the 700 Club, and we welcome you to the many, many outreaches worldwide that happen, that go out from the Christian Broadcasting Network. So Janet, great to have you with us.
Great to be here.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.